Worst dream ever, I suddenly fell in coma. Hi, I'm John. I'm going to share with you the most shocking moment I have ever experienced in my life. It was a dream, but it looked quite real. I only realized it was a dream when I suddenly got up crying with immense fear. I was just 8 at that time. I could see that it was a beautiful and bright day. I played in the playground with my classmates when we saw a lovely bird sitting in a tree. One of my mates planned with me to capture it. He helped me climb up the tree. While I was trying to do so, a branch I held on broke, and I fell. The last thing I remember is that everything around me had got fuzzy. I don't know what happened next. Later, when I woke up, it was in a hospital room. I found that I had no control over my body parts. I could feel the light around me, but I was unable to open my eyes. I could hear my parents talking about me. Then a strange voice came to my ears. I gathered that it was some doctor. He was told that the boy's damage is preventing enough oxygen from reaching his body. I was able to feel all the mind exams conducted on me in the hospital. Machines keeping me alive were too expensive, but my father was determined to do everything to make me normal. My stepmom was, however, very concerned about the cost of the treatment. One day the doctor said there was nothing more than they could do, and it was best for me to return to my home. I was happy because I was going to be near the things I loved. However, things went downhill from there. I lost the ability to move. The whole thing felt like a nightmare. I had just become a vegetable, unable to do anything but listen. My stepmom had just vanished. I didn't know where she was and didn't hear anything related to her. I think she was no longer willing to carry my burden and thus left home. However, my dog Rook was always beside me. Perhaps he could feel my thoughts, as he used to bark when I was depressed. I could also hear my father frequently come and talk to me, but soon he was also looking tired and hopeless. With time, my father's frequent visits ended, except a nightly visit every day when he came back home from work. My lovely Rook also disappeared and was no more there. I didn't know what had happened to it. Gradually I started feeling some improvement in my body. My consciousness was slowly returning. My nerves were getting activated again. You might be thinking, how did I learn this? Well, I started feeling my eyelids flutter whenever my father visited me. I couldn't do anything more, but this was a significant change. My father didn't know about this development. Instead of getting excited, he got so much disappointed that he shifted me to a nursing home. I cried and wanted to tell him that I was getting out of a coma, but I had no way to do so. In the nursing home, soon, I got deprived of my father's visit too. He left me there and didn't return after that. Everything was so quiet. No voices, no talking, and no movements. Only a stranger would come twice daily to move me left and right, and make sure the machines worked correctly. The days and months were passing like that, and now I too started getting hopeless. Would there be a day when I will speak, walk and see my father again? I asked myself such questions, but there was no answer. Somehow, I decided to fight back this lost battle. I realized that I had to find some way to stay in this very world of me. I had to create a world, my world inside me. My imagination developed different characters and objects inside my mind. The thing I loved the most was my friend Andrew. He would come to see me on weekends. He talked about his friends and the games he played with them. I enjoyed hearing about his school adventures. His visits were the best part of my life. Those flutters were increasing in frequency and intensity, but I was still unable to open my eyes. One day, I was amazed to hear the voice of my dear father. Hooray! He had finally decided to come to see me. He held my hand, and I couldn't believe it. Emotions started to build up inside me, and suddenly I could feel something more in my eyes than just those flutters. I couldn't stay like that anymore. I had to open my eyes. The cries of my helpless father had empowered my eyes, and now they were open. When he turned up his head, he saw my eyes wide open. He jumped and ran outside, screaming, "Doctor! I need to see my doctor." The doctors tested me, and none of them could explain what had just happened. They could only say that perhaps the nerve damage had somehow recovered with the time. To check my senses, they asked me to blink twice, and I did it. They were just astonished. It took not many days for me to start moving my body parts. Perhaps the emotions had made the impossible become possible. When I was able to start walking with the help of nurses, I just found my father entering the room. I was so much excited that I started running toward him. This made me fall, and only then I got up in my bed. I was sweating heavily and crying, "Dad. Dad." My parents came from their room, and I realized it was all a dream. However, it taught me many lessons. I realized the love of my father for me. I learned the importance of helping the helpless and the significance of health. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel What If 2D, and like the video, comment if you liked the story.